Today we're talking about competition in animals and in plants. So in any habitat there'll be a limited number of resources, so animals compete for different things in their habitat to make sure they've got enough to survive. So things that might be limited might be things like water, and so animals might fight for the best place next to a stream or a river. It might also be things like food. Animals need to get the right food in order to survive, and there might be a limited amount. There might be a limited amount of the right type of plant that animals eat, or the prey organism that they might chase. They're also going to compete for space. Okay, not that type of space, but they're going to compete for space in the areas to live in. Animals need their territory that they can look after, and so they're going to compete for that. And they're also going to compete for mates. So there are going to be rituals that males will try and display, maybe to try and say, look, I'm the best male that you should mate with. And the same with females as well. They're going to try and want to reproduce, and there are only going to be a limited number of partners that are available, and so they want to compete for those. Plants also compete for things in a similar way. So plants are also going to compete for water, except it's not going to be about fighting over the nearest oasis or river. Instead, it's going to be seeing whose roots can reach the water source or can suck up the most water in an area. They're also going to compete for light. So plants that are taller are going to be able to get more light. And if a plant is living in the shade of another, it's not going to be able to survive very well. They're also going to compete for space. And so if there are too many plants in one area, then they won't be able to survive. But if they're all spread out, then they'll be okay. And finally, they're going to compete for minerals. So plants need minerals in order to grow healthily, and so they're going to compete for them in the soil, again with their roots taking up as much as they can. If an animal or plant loses the competition per se and isn't able to get any of these key things, then they will die. So animals compete for these key elements, plants compete for different ones, and they have adaptations to help them compete for these things. We'll talk about adaptations in another video. That's it for Mr. C's Biology. Any questions, pop them in the comments below.